Hey, what's going on, everybody? You got your boy Chris here. It's Sunday and we in the kitchen. So today, what are we gonna whip up? Something easy, something light, something that you can serve as an appetizer, give to the kids after school or whatever, or just when you're hosting something. Just really easy recipe to make here. And what that is bacalaitos. So what is bacalaitos in English? It's nothing more than a codfish fritter. So, and some of the basic ingredients you're gonna need for that, as you can see here, is some all-purpose flour. Like I said the other day, when I was cooking, I picked up this bag of garlic, and all I did was took this garlic and minced it up, because that's gonna go into my batter. You're gonna need some sazon. All right, always a base for Spanish cooking, as well as garlic. Here it is. And another base is definitely going to be your sofrito. So I'll be uploading some videos on how to make homemade fresh sofrito. So when you make your recipes, whether it's arroz con pollo, arroz con dule, or anything, and when I upload those, you'll be able to see how I incorporate this into my recipes. And then fresh cilantro, and then we'll come in here with some codfish. And over here on my stove, I already have some water in a pot warming up, because what we're gonna do is put our codfish in there, and then we're gonna let that cook for 10 minutes, and we'll start putting our recipe together. We have that codfish in the pot. I want to talk to you guys a little bit when I'm cutting this cilantro. I'm not a culinary chef. I'm just a guy who just likes to cook food that I grew up eating in New Jersey, which happens to be Puerto Rican food. But anyway, so I'm going to cut this up, and by no means do you have to use all of this at one shot, Cilantro is pretty overpowering with its flavor, so I'm not going to put all of this in my bacalaitos. And another thing about it with this bacalaitos is when you have your flour mixture here, you want it to be like a pancake kind of batter. You could either make this stuff too thick or too thin, but you make it to the consistency you want to, but you don't want it too thick or too watery. And you'll see once we start incorporating everything how this mixture is going to come together. And on top of that, I know some people, they use different things instead of the water from the codfish, but I use the codfish water. That's just the way I've seen it done. That's just the way I've ate it. And so that's the way I've always made it. And just to touch on something else that is not bacalaito related, this book here is called the Puerto Rican Cookery. Staples you should have in your home, if you ask me, in my opinion, when it comes to a cookbook. But other than that, you can find some great recipes, bacalaitos, empanada, all kinds of stuff. So get on Amazon, check Barnes & Noble's, Books a Million, wherever you live at, and you can learn some great things. If you didn't grow up in a Spanish household, even if you did, it's just a great book to have. Okay, so here we are. Our codfish, 10 minutes boiled. I took 2 forks, I just shredded it apart. Now, you could put as little or as much codfish as you want to. Also, some people I've seen have used like a vegetable kind of stock, in there, whatever. Not me. What I do is I take the water from the codfish and I put it in there, right? So I just grab it straight out of there, out of the pot, that hot water, and I just bring it over. All right, and then next thing I'm gonna do is go in here. I got my whisk. I'm gonna start whisking that up. Let's see what kind of consistency we're gonna get here. And if it ain't my liking, like right now, I can already tell it doesn't have enough, and we'll put some more water in there until I get it the consistency that I want. Again, it's like making pancakes. How you like your pancakes. You either, if it's too much liquid, you got to add a little bit more water. And for me right now, as you can see, that I had to add a little bit more water as we're building this up. All right, so whisking this thing, getting it to the consistency I want to. As you can see, for me, I like that consistency because it's not too thin and it's not too thick. So now what we're going to do, we're going to throw our cilantro in there, fresh cilantro in there. We're going to start mixing that in. Then our next step is We're going to throw some codfish in there. And this is going to take up a lot of some liquid as well, because it's going to start absorbing some of this batter. So we got some of that. You can leave some out for the side, so when you put it into the pan, if you want to, you could add some when you get it over there into the pan frying, if you want to do that. Now we get all that incorporated. Now we're going to come in with some sofrito, then that fresh garlic. Then after the fresh garlic, we're going to come in with that sazon. All right, now these flavors are going to, see how it turned it? That sazon is going to turn it another color, the orange color as well. That's just what sazon does. And so our next step here, after we get this good incorporated, is to get to the fryer here. Okay, so our next step, I got my electric heat on about a 4 right now. I've been letting this warm up. It's ready to go. So I'm going to take this ladle here. We have our mixture. We got everything in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. And you don't have to do this, but just something that I'm going to do is that right there. And put that into that spoon. And then what we're going to do, we're going to bring it over here. And we're just going to lay it in there. And as you can see, when they're cooking, they'll float to the top after you get them put in there. And then you want to keep an eye on them. You want to flip them. You know, just keep an eye on them, make sure they're good to go. And then you want to flip them. You want them to be a nice golden color on each side. All right, so our bacalaitos are done, or other term name for it, codfish fritters are done. And here's what we should be looking like. Nice golden color. These things are not meant to be pretty. You ought to look some up sometime when they cook them in Puerto Rico. This thing is tiny compared to what they look like. I've seen them hang them up at like on these rod kind of things. But anyway, that's what they should look like. It's just nothing but a, you know, like I said, a codfish fritter or bacalaitos. And anyway, but yeah, so there it is. Final product. Listen at the crunch. Great flavor. Everything came out great. Try it at home. Try it with your kids. And let me know. Until next time, hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Peace.